Well, I decided that tonight I would do another Racing Mower update. I actually had some money come in into my account, so I can actually get started on this stupid project. Just kidding, it's not stupid, but I did need the money to buy anything. So anyway, I've got 10 feet of 40 roller chain. I've got my 1/4 inch stock for locking my wheels and such into the axle. I've got a 1 inch hub here, which is a weld sprocket from Tractor Supply. I've got my sprocket, which is a 30-tooth sprocket, which is also which is 40 pitch to go with that chain. And then I've got my transaxle here, shift link for my transaxle, and of course Dunkin' Donuts coffee to get me through this. This right here is an 8-tooth 40 pitch sprocket. I will be upgrading this to something a little bit higher. It's splined, so I'm going to have to find another type of splined sprocket, but I'm going to be upgrading that to maybe like a 10 or a 12 tooth, just to make it go a little bit faster. So we're going to be running a 1-to-1 ratio from the engine to the transaxle, probably about a 4 or 5 inch pulley. And this is a 5-speed transaxle. I found out from Josh Blair. He texted me the other night and let me know that that was a 5-speed instead of a 3-speed. And then we'll be running a 10 or a 12 inch front here to a 30 or 10 or 12 tooth here to a 30 tooth in the back on the axle. So basically tonight I don't have any strap steel here to go across the bottom of the frame, because I'm going to set this transaxle right down in this center part here. And I also want to kind of get my dashboard on so I can see where I need to mount this transaxle in relation to where the dashboard is. Also, when I mount the transaxle back here, I'm going to want to be able to get access to it. So I'm going to have to cut a hole in the floor here of the rear fender assembly and kind of make an access door, just in case I have to service this from the top, this switch, or maybe do an oil change on it. I believe this is oil filled, isn't it? Oh no, I guess it's grease filled. But anyway, I can fill, or if I need to put more grease in it, I can do that from the top here, where the neutral safety switch is. So without further ado, let's get to some welding, and then we'll see what we can do about putting this on the axle. Okay, so this is basically what we have here. I finished my welds. I didn't film any of the welding on this because I just kind of wanted to get through it without checking the camera and everything. But this is these kind of ground down and just kind of smoothed out a little bit. And they were actually pretty good, this side welds, so I probably didn't really need to smooth them down other than get the slag off. And I had to get all the slag out of the inner bore there, but I did. And then on this side was a little bit more crappy side. I didn't really have anything to balance my hand on. But those are just kind of roughly smoothed out. Whatever, it's good enough. So that's that side. That's welded in there, nice and tight. And so now we're going to go ahead and throw this on the axle and see what happens. Okay, so I now have keys, 1/4 inch key stock in either rim. So now this is, there's no play in the axle there now. Well, there's a little bit, but that's from the keys, it's not from the bearings. Bearings are fine, so yeah. I also put a piece of stock in the sprocket right there. That's about where the sprocket's going to run. Right along there. And so the next step will be brakes. I'm going to be putting like a 7 or 8 inch rotor back here probably. I was going to run it on this side, but I think, yeah, I think it's going to be running on this side, not on the inside here. I don't think I'll run it on the inside. I think I'll run it on the outside. Well, I don't know. I might end up running it on the inside. I'm not sure. I didn't think I was going to have this much space to play with here, but I've got a keyway here. Actually, yeah, I'll probably run it on the inside because this is where my keyway is, on the inside. This is my only inside keyway. So I can either run it over here, or I could run it right out by the wheel, but there wouldn't be anywhere to bolt the bracket to. So I'll probably end up running the brake right here, or depending on which way the transmission has to go, I'm not sure if it's going to need to turn this way or turn this way. It will be down like that though. This is how it's going to be sitting in the tractor. The spindle will be down towards the ground. But this sprocket may change sides, but I'm not sure yet. So I've got my lock collars locked here for both wheels. This is about how much space I'm going to have once I tighten these nuts up. And then this actually doesn't have spaces for it, but I'll drill little holes at the end and just put cotter pins in, just as an extra safeguard. So, but there's no play here. It's nice having everything rolling nice in that bearing end and that sprocket on there, so you can basically see what's going to be happening. Then the sprocket side on here, we're going to set it. I think we're going to set the transmission about here, and then we're going to have this chain up there that I bought running back. You know, you kind of can see where it's going to go. But good, now that's good. So the sprocket's done and on there, and then the next step will be brakes. Brakes are going to be expensive. Brakes are probably going to be the most expensive thing, other than, well, actually, tires are going to be the most expensive thing. I think it's going to run me over $100 for a set of 4 tires. Or about $125, I think, for a set of 4 tires. Because I'm not using those front ones because those are really dry rotted, and I don't actually have a matching set, and I really want a matching set. So, this whole rear end, the bearings, axle, rims, lock collars, and sprocket, I think ended up being about $125 for the rear end. It'll be about $125 for all 4 wheels, and it will probably be about will be $150 for the engine, and transaxle was $35. I've already got the chain. Chain was included in the rear end, so that's included as part of that. And then brakes will probably run me about $85, so they're not going to be the most expensive thing, I guess. $85 or $90 for brakes, I believe. I'm not going to do hydraulic, I'm just going to do mechanical. Then I've still got to wire it, put the engine on, do any kind of extra metal body work, and then I've got to do steering in the front. I have decided that I will do a secondary kind of steering. I think I can leave this front end in here and use this front end for my steering front end, as long as I replace this tie rod and the gear and switch it out with more of like a direct steer, and maybe put like motorcycle bars on it instead. But yeah. So next big thing is probably brakes, and then after that, trying to get the rear end basically done, getting that on, getting the transmission in, and getting the transmission in and getting a tensioner made to keep tension on the chain. So that'll be the next step, probably next update. So I know this wasn't a very big update. This is basically just putting the rear drive in here, but you know, at least everything's also all tightened up back here. My flanges are all tightened up here, my bearing hangers and my lock collars, and I have key stock and everything. And now you can see basically what the rear end's going to look like. And I bought my chain already, so I've got this, and I'll put it down there. I've got that, got the transaxle, and then we'll see where we can go from there. Also wanted to mention that I am entering the ATLTF 2014 build off with this machine. This is the machine that I'm going to be building for the ATLTF 2014 build off. So this is my sheet here. It's appearing in the video, as well as a couple of photos of the parts that I have here. Other than the parts that I took in the photos, which were basically just the rear end parts and the sprocket and chain, I also have this rear fender, which is going to be used, and then I have the dashboard and steering box there. But other than that, this is my entry form, and we'll go look for my my thread on the ATLTF forum. I'll put a link in the description below. And thank you for the support on this build. Hopefully this continues on the pace that it's going. I'm having a good amount of money come in so that I can buy things here and there to put out an update every month for you guys, probably. So I know there was a couple months in there where I just didn't do anything on it, but now that I've got it inside and I've started the rear end, I'm kind of getting more motivation to finish it. So thanks for the support, and thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for more.